I believe that we are live right now. Hello, everybody. This is the fourth episode of what is right now called the Exotic Cat, and probably will be forever. Because I'm very lazy. I am re-23, and with me right now is DemmieRepkin.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello, folks.
And yeah, okay. We will hopefully be getting some more people joining in a bit. But for now, would you like to say a bit about yourself?
Well, I'm 19 years old and currently attending community college, and I just recently got accepted into a 4-year. What's it called? I'm a huge fan of like shows like certain anime, musical theater, gaming, and reading. And when it comes to like the whole Fibsy Pop stuff and Has Been Hotel, I actually like discovered all that on complete accident. I was just browsing online trying to find a cosplay guide for a character from a show called Bakano. And on one website, I came across an Alistar cosplay, and I'm like, what the hell is Alistar? And that's kind of how it started. And then I watched Hell of a Boss, and then I watched Has Been Hotel, and that's how I discovered that whole Vivsy stuff.
Cool. Hello, Aqua.
Okay, I'm here. I'm actually here for once. Okay, I'm alive.
Nice.
Okay.
Okay, so today today we're gonna be finally covering a topic that Demi had brought up probably like a couple weeks ago, maybe a week ago.
It was like
oh yeah, it was
like 10 days ago, give or take.
Wow, that no, it
Oh
was
my
almost it was
God,
almost
it
a
was
month
almost
ago.
a month ago. Wow.
It was actually a month ago. Wow.
Impressive.
Yeah. And we've been saving for when he could join us.
I've been busy with my studies. It's midterm month and all that. You know how it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, would you like to kind of introduce the topic?
So, the topic is based on villains of different series. Specifically, how you can describe a good villain and a bad villain, and how villains can actually cause debates among fans of certain shows, as well as whether or not it's a good or bad thing to stan a villain. So you could also we can cover the subject by talking about our favorite villains and such as well. Basically, we're trying to look into what makes a villain for a show.
Okay.
All right. This is a good topic.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. You have something else?
So I just want to say really quick, when it comes to villains, everybody loves a good villain. Villains have the best powers, the coolest designs, and even in musicals, most of the best songs are villain songs.
Okay. Can I ask a question?
Yeah, sure.
Can we also do video game villains, or do we have to
yeah,
just do
sure.
children?
Fictional villains. It could be from literature, movies, TV shows, video games.
Okay, I just had to ask that question. I'm sorry. Continue.
Oh yeah, that's completely fine. But yeah, villains. villains always are a lot cooler than the hero. Everybody has like that part of them that loves something that can be seen as kind of evil in a way. There's like a taboo that attracts us to villains. But like on the subject of villain songs and musicals, everybody remembers the dentist song from Little Shop of Horrors, and everybody remembers the Feed Me song again from Little Shop of Horrors, but nobody remembers Somewhere That's Green or what's it called? In Disney musicals, everybody loves Hellfire, but nobody loves Heaven's Light, which is from the exact same musical, like 2 minutes beforehand. So, why do you think people are so attracted to villains anyway? Like, why do we find villains to be so cool and better than heroes?
I feel it's because they have a lot more potential and give the story a good plot.
Mm-hmm.
Right, you need a villain, and it's the better the villain, the more interesting the entire story arc is going to go. Yeah, conflict.
Right.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's just not even just a villain, but also like an antagonist. Those are
'Cause
always villains.
a villain doesn't have to. Hey boy, a villain doesn't have to be what's it called? It doesn't have to be like a person. It could be like a belief or an idea of some sort. Like we can consider an antagonist a person, like some evil racist, or we can consider the antagonist the very prejudice in that society that made this person into an evil racist. So a villain doesn't really exactly have to be a person. It could also be an idea.
That is very true.
But like on the subject of villains and good villains, I can understand that I've seen some debates on the internet among like Reddit and Twitter and stuff about people who shame others for liking villains. The has-been example would be everybody like knows if you've seen Has-Been, everybody knows the moth guy Valentino and how he's an evil POS. But what's it called? I've seen a lot of people getting shamed for liking him as a villain, and and I can see that there's a divide amongst fans because how folks love a good villain, and it's like you're trying to justify their actions. You're trying to like you're siding with them in a way would be one way to describe it, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Mm.
And I
And
don't.
I really.
What?
Oh, continue.
Oh, I was just gonna say, I think there is a line between thinking how cool a villain is versus agreeing with what the villain is doing.
Right, because it's
Right.
like when people like Valentino, because again, that's the example I gave. I want to use that. Nobody's trying to excuse the abuse he's given to one of the characters in the show, that being Angel Dust. People just like him as a character. They think he's kind of cool in a way because of how evil he is. They're not trying to excuse the things he's done.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense. I don't really know what else to say right now.
I'd say one of the classic examples is something that I still have trouble figuring out if it was just a meme or if people actually like agreed with them, but the whole Thanos did nothing wrong.
Oh yes. That kind of goes into a whole nother debate on villains, and that's being what makes the villain a villain. Because on that subject of Infinity War and Endgame, Thanos' cause, he thought, and some other people would assume, would be righteous. Overpopulation, never much resources. And the best thing to do is mass genocide of everyone.
Well, yes, half the population in the entire universe. People just say the entire world, but I'm pretty sure it's the entire universe. I
It
don't know, I
was
could be wrong.
yeah, it was 5 trillion lives, they said in the Endgame movie was the exact amount that they gave.
Right. And
Right.
and
Okay.
and
Anyways, I forgot what I was gonna say.
yeah, I think well, first of all, from what I understand, I never read the comics, but I mean at this point like I understand there's the main like a big difference in that case was they changed the reason for Thanos doing that.
So
So as Demi was saying before, what makes a villain versus but I want to also talk about what makes an antagonist an antagonist. See, in the movie Ratatouille, the main antagonist doesn't like rats. That doesn't mean he's a bad person and is the villain. He just doesn't like rats normally. And that's where Remy comes in. So it ends up making people think he's the villain, but he's actually just the antagonist because of the main protagonist of the movie is Remy, a rat, which most people don't like rats, so it's understandable.
And one way to best describe that is antagonists don't have to be villains. In the show House of Cards, it's on Netflix. I would recommend the first 2 or 3 seasons, but it starts to go downhill around season 4 or 5. The main character is a villain. The protagonist is actually the villain of the story, and we're following the villain's journey in his quest for power. And the antagonists are actually good people that he's crushing so he can achieve his goals. Now, the antagonists are actually the heroes of the story in an odd way, while we're following the villain of the story.
Right, so it just depends on like the view of what you get versus the view of the antagonist / villain. So
yes, because everybody would want to say like, oh, I don't agree with this person, I don't like this person, but since that person is the main character of the story, in a way, you want them to keep succeeding because despite them being the villain, they're the person whose story is being told, and you want to see their story have a satisfying conclusion.
Right. And I think I have trouble with a lot of different like there are a lot of these shows that have not like a person not doing the right thing as the main character, and like the whole main story arc is like you probably shouldn't be cheering this person on. And I mean sometimes they're like with is it I'm pretty sure it's Seinfeld. Every single person in the show, every main character in the show is a jerk. You're not supposed to root for them. You understand they're jerks, and that's what's funny.
Right. Can I also talk about a video game villain that is mistaken for a villain? I just called them a villain. Where she's actually just an antagonist of the story that ends up helping you near the end. Portal. GLaDOS is mistakenly thought for of the villain. She isn't actually the villain. She's done some bad things, yes, but that's not her fault. That's the thing she's with fault. So she hasn't actually done anything bad. She's actually a nice person. But if she were out of that core, she wouldn't be being as mean. And I don't know if you guys see where I'm going with this. I don't know if you do.
No, I think I understand where you're going with it. What you're saying is, in a way, they're a villain, but they're not really a villain by choice.
Right.
Which can actually bring into another topic that I would want to cover about villains, and that's can certain villains be redeemed? Because as a storytelling point, the villains are humans, and there's a saying among some writers that a villain is a victim whose story has yet to be told. That in a way, the villains are actually just as human as you and I, and in some cases, people can actually relate to villains more than they can heroes, because heroes are like legendary figures that we can follow along their quest, but villains are people we can relate to. They're flawed, they're hurt. We've all been in that position.
Right. But you said about you want to bring on the topic of can villains be redeemed. I also want to say how like heroes and protagonists, how they can turn into villains. Another example of this is, again, Portal. I really love Portal. I don't know if you can tell. Anyways, Wheatley is actually the person who's helping you because you're the protagonist. He's also the protagonist. But he's turned into a villain by choice at the end of the game, so you throw him into space.
Well,
And
sounds fun.
yeah, it is fun, but it's also very timed. It's kind of stressful. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. There are some villains though that are so evil in a way we don't want them to be redeemed. I want to give a spoiler warning to those who haven't read One Piece nor watched it. But there was a villain that was introduced after the Alabasta saga named Don Quixote do Flamingo, and they immediately set him up as one of the big villains of the show. And over the course of years, like hundreds of episodes and hundreds of chapters, they were building him up to be like this really evil person. And the heroes, sometimes the things they do would actually indirectly affect Doflamingo. When they fought these one group of rowdy pirates, these pirates actually worked under Doflamingo. When they raided a slave auctioning house and freed the slaves, he owned that auctioning house. During the war for the war of the Paramount War, Doflamingo was at that war, and that was the first time he met the main character of the show. And over the years, they would keep building up this villain and his interest of the main character. And he's evil. He has done every single crime you can think of. He has beaten people. He has tortured people. He has murdered. He has robbed. He's done even the things that Valentino has done, Doflamingo has done. And it's not directly confirmed, but that thing Valentino did to Angel Dust at the end of the Attic music video, it's very implied that Doflamingo actually did that to someone as well. And in a way, you don't want him to be redeemed, and yet they still gave him a tragic backstory to follow on. But at the same time, with that backstory, it doesn't exactly redeem him. In a way, it makes you hate him more, because it shows that even as a child, he was always that way. It's almost as if he was born to be evil.
F am I muted?
Howdy.
Hi, we're talking villains.
Yep.
What now?
About villains topics. I don't think we can explain it all again. You're just gonna have to rewatch some of the podcasts.
Yeah.
It should be streaming on YouTube right now.
I mean, we're just talking about just the different aspects of villains in
media. And how they
media.
can be redeemed, and how and what makes the difference between a villain and an antagonist.
Yeah.
And how villains can turn into villains, how protagonists can turn into villains, how villains can turn into protagonists, etc. That stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I almost ran out of breath saying that.
Okay.
Doflamingo is probably one of what I consider one of my favorite villains because, well, one, he has a great sense of style, but two, he is one of those villains that is just pure evil in a way, in that even if they wanted to try to redeem his character, there was no way he can be redeemed. He's just the incarnation of evil. That even though he was defeated 100 chapters ago, give or take another 100, he is still his shadow looms over the rest of the series. That he was such a big part of the world that the fact that they defeated him completely changed the world for the worse. He was the one thing between other more powerful and worse villains, and he was the one keeping everyone else in line.
Yeah, so there's been a couple of things I've had kind of stacking up in my head to talk about, right? With this. So there are one of the things was you talk about tragic backstories. And it's like, yeah, okay, but like at some point you still need to have that point where if you're going to do a redemption thing with the villain, you have to have them understand that their whatever tragic past they had does not make up for the things that they have done.
Like who they are as a person, even though they had a tragic backstory, even though they were hurt somehow in the past, that does not excuse the actions that they committed on people, their crimes, their atrocities, and such.
Right. And I think there's a lot of relatability to that with audiences. Even if the audience doesn't notice it, there are a lot of times people in real life will do that. They won't like be pure evil, but they'll do something that isn't good, but they don't realize it's not good because they're automatically excusing themselves from doing it just because of something from their past.
That goes back
Right,
to
because that's the only thing they've ever known. The part of the reason they do those things and don't realize they're bad is because that's all they've ever known. They can't help it. They just think it's the right thing to do.
Yeah. I actually really like villains that are just like they're just bad and they know they're bad. So like the movie or the book or the game doesn't have to spend all the time explaining why they're bad or how they're bad or if they're conflicted with the fact that they're bad. They know they're bad, so now we can move on and you can get into like why, like what they do or if they enjoy being bad or how they enjoy being bad or whatever. Like
Right.
I like villains that like they're black and white as far as like their approach to the law or whatever morals and whatnot, but like how they do it, like how they evil is what I like.
Right, and that's kind of a lot of Disney villains.
Yeah.
And Disney villains, like if they have a backstory, like sometimes they'll just even throw the backstory into like 5 lines of dialogue.
It's
Yeah.
like Disney has had a problem recently with, and this kind of goes into another subject I want to cover maybe a bit later, twist villains. Like, oh, we think this person's the hero. Nope, they were the villain the entire time. A twist villain can be brilliant if handled correctly, like in The Incredibles 1 with Syndrome.
We're looking at you, Frozen.
But a twist villain, when handled incorrectly, can just be some stupid plot point, like in Incredibles 2, for example.
Wasn't Incredibles 1 the guy with the mega fan who
Yes.
like he's a villain but he absolutely loves the hero? Like,
That-
But he
Right.
used to, but
Like,
he
he
was
loves-
Right,
Yeah.
he just wants to be part of the story,
he
which is why
I
he turned
love
into a
that.
villain in the first place. At least I think
Yeah.
so.
well he was
I
kind of
think there's one part where like go ahead.
huh?
Go ahead.
I think there was like one part where it's been a while since I've seen it, but like the hero says something. I think he says his line, and the villain is like he totally said it, and like he actually freaks out that like he said his line that he only says. Like his hero line, every hero has like in comic books, every hero has
Like
a
a
line.
catchphrase of some sort.
Yeah, catchphrase.
Yeah.
There you go. Like I think the villain actually freaks out about it. He's like, "Oh, I totally actually said it and everything." Like, I like that. Like he's evil. He knows he's evil. Like, how does he evil now? I loved how that guy evil. Just didn't give a fuck about it. Just there for a
The
good story.
Incredibles was such Syndrome was so weird because he carries this very childish thought process through his entire life. Oh, because and you know this because if he actually matured at all, he wouldn't be a villain because he would have realized Mr. Incredible was trying to protect him by keeping him out of the action.
Yeah.
But he kept
Right.
saying, go home. Like, you're in danger. Like, you literally had a bomb on you.
Yeah.
And, but Syndrome just doesn't, he refuses to believe that he was actually causing any issues. And so he sees it as just a personal attack, and he keeps that thought process throughout his whole life. But then,
Yeah.
but then he decides to punish all heroes by not only killing some, but deciding it always kind of threw me off. Like, you're gonna punish them because then his plan is he'll sell all the tech so everyone can be super, making no one super because everyone's then on the same playing field. But like, then he wouldn't be any more powerful, so I didn't really.
He'd be rich.
Just wanted to put everyone on the same playing field.
But not just that, but also he was hurt as a child in a way, in that if you're not strong enough, you can't be a superhero like me, yada yada yada. And he maybe in his mindset, he wants people to not feel the way he felt, and that he wants everyone to feel like they can be a superhero, like he thought he could be a superhero.
Right. It's just I don't know, there's that whole that's just something that's always bugged me about The Incredibles, is like, he is literally just a kid, like, mentally, the entire film.
Like, in
because
a way,
he can't
never grew
see
up on...
he can't see that Mr. Incredible is protecting him by
He's kind of
telling
obsessed on his grudge for years.
Right.
Another movie that I watched recently for the first time was Hateful Eight, and
That's
like,
a good one.
in some people's eyes, let's see, the Major Warren could be seen as villain because he killed like a bunch of people, and he had a bounty on him, and he killed a lot of the bounty hunters. Like, it really just told the story, and then that was kind of it. It didn't really like indulge in it or anything like that, because like, yeah, I mean, like, he acknowledged it happened, and then that's the end of the story. And then after that, all you get to see is like the fallout from it, like who he is and his personality, which was a lot of Samuel L. Jackson's personality, but like, you know, he didn't spend all the time like learning what his backstory was and if he's conflicted with it or anything. It's just, nope, that's his backstory. That's what happened, and now we're moving on.
Yep.
I liked that. One of the things I liked about that movie. Oh my god.
Yeah.
I'm playing Vault 70 whatever, the online one.
Fallout 76.
So that's why I'm really distracted right now.
So, I'd say one of my favorite villains ever would be the Joker. Like, and it, like, specifically the way he was done in the Dark Knight trilogy.
Yeah.
Or at least in the Dark Knight. He was supposed to be in the third one if
Heath Ledger
hadn't died. Yeah. But but the whole character as a whole is just like, just doing things for the sake of doing things most of the time. And I think it's so interesting because he knows he needs someone to stop him in order for him to actually have an attack. Be like causing mayhem, because if he had won any battle, like, it would just be kind of boring, because like, what else is there to do? So his entire thing is not killing Batman. because he lives for the fight.
At least with the heat.
Oh my
Whoa,
God.
whoa.
Hang on a
Okay,
second.
okay. Okay. Yep, it's back to normal.
Hello?
What?
Oh,
You good?
quality. Try
Quality's using a voice changer.
quality. Try leaving the voice call and coming back.
Yep, leaving and joining back. And if not, unplug your headset, plug it back in. Or microphone.
Okay, that
I
was
don't have the
something.
headset. Okay.
Hello?
Okay, back to normal.
Yeah, okay.
Gonna have to
Where were
put a little thing in the description. Nope, it's back.
well,
I have no idea what's
quality,
going on.
So, unplug your microphone and plug it back in if you
Oh, I
have a
don't know.
microphone.
If he's using a microphone.
My microphone is built into my computer.
Oh.
Maybe it's a Wi-Fi problem. Maybe it's like a
Maybe
connection
reset
problem.
your
Wait.
reset your
Keep
sound
talk
and
again.
volume.
Quality.
Maybe reset your stuff.
Ooh.
It's funny because it's supposed to be.
It's, like,
'cause his name's
very
Quality,
robot-y.
and I was gonna make a joke about his name being Quality, and then like the mic quality is actually terrible.
He sounds like, what's it called? One of those secret villains and you've seen a TV show, like one of those villains that's always hiding in the shadows and you never see their face, you never hear their
Right,
voice.
you never see them, hear them until like the end of the show or something.
Yeah,
The show, cartoon, anime, etc.
kind of like Dr. Claw from Inspector Gadget. You only hear this deep voice and a metal arm petting a cat. The whole show.
Yeah.
I don't know how I
It
feel
might
about
be
those
it
things.
might be a
understand
video. It might be a
quality
Wi-Fi
somewhat.
thing.
Yeah, it could be. I understand quality a little bit. Talk normally, Quality.
Oh my God.
Let me try this, is what he said. I believe.
Something like that.
No, that does not help.
Hooray! I get to use a feature I haven't used before.
Oh boy, what feature?
It's a little thing in the YouTube studio where you can add a marker on the stream that'll show up after the stream is over, so you can like remember to go back to a part.
Right. Well, Quality is probably left for a bit.
Technical difficulties, we lost him.
Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, we lost him. Oi, he's back. Okay.
Okay, how are you?
Oof.
Yeah, oof.
Tracking down this whole hotel Wi-Fi.
Oh, you're on a hotel Wi-Fi.
The only word I can hear out of all that was Wi-Fi.
Yeah, he said he's on hotel Wi-Fi.
Fine. Let's see what happens. Crap.
So
he just said, okay, let's see what happens.
There we go. Hey, baby.
No. What's worse is you have an echo.
Uh-huh.
Well, we can hear
yeah.
ourselves through you.
Yeah.
it's coming
it's
back
like one of
on.
those it's like one of those shadow villains. Like you said earlier, except like the one talking behind everyone, and telling them what to do.
Yeah,
Like FNAF. FNAF doesn't really have a main villain, I think, but in FNAF Ultimate Custom Night, when you die by the like Rockstar, the whatever it is. If you die by a certain set of characters, every time they get like a random line, it kind of echoes like there's someone telling them what to say and what to do.
Oh yeah, that was crazy. Those games.
Yeah, FNAF is fun. FNAF is fun, crazy, and
Whoa! Everyone, stop! Speak. Quality.
All my other Wi-Fi's just showed up. So
He's normal.
Yeah.
I was about to.
He's
I
normal.
was literally
I guess,
Goog-
I guess
Hold on,
76
guys.
was dragging it down or something.
Hold on,
Yeah.
guys. Technically, there is no normal. Everyone's different.
Oh no, I might have
Oh,
to kick you
God.
for that
Ah.
one.
Yeah, that's cheesy. Come on.
I found.
But
I
what
was.
I was saying was like,
Come on.
Joker's like the best
I wanted to
example of
get
a
that
villain.
reaction out of you guys.
Like
I
with
just
a
wanted to get that
backstory.
reaction out of you guys.
Yeah.
No, my food just dropped on the floor after how much I've been laughing. Okay, 1 second. I need to feed my
I
cat.
literally had a technical difficulty. I was Google image searching technical difficulty screen.
Yeah, I think 76 was just dragging down the Wi-Fi because I couldn't find the Wi-Fi's listed. That like there's like 70 Wi-Fi's around here, and it was just the Wi-Fi that I was a part of.
Ah.
So,
So I don't know. Maybe it was messing up the Wi-Fi. But what I was saying was that like the Joker is probably the best example of a villain that's just bad and doesn't have a backstory. Like, and something I really liked about Heath Ledger's performance as the Joker was that he started off telling a story about his father, then he told a story, I think, about his mother, and then he just told a story about a wife that he apparently had. And like, even though you could probably connect all the stories and say that it was, repeated events from one thing or another, but like it all kind of seemed random, as if he was just telling the stories because. And I think that was really funny because the Joker's never had a backstory, so they kind of didn't want to mess that up, but they also wanted to kind of have the whole "I'm telling my backstory right now." I think it's kind of funny that like he just made up some backstories instead of actually telling us what his backstory is.
in The Killing Joke, he said he wanted his backstory to be multiple choice.
Yeah. So like
Yeah.
he gave a bunch of different ones, and every one was right before he was about to kill somebody.
So I've never actually. I know I'm stupid. I've never read the comics. I know
either.
generally the like original origin stories for a lot of these, like the Joker. I mean, before he was the Joker, he was just a bad guy in general anyway. But during a fight, he's knocked into like a vat of acid. And
Oh, that's the early '90s Batman. I think Batman Begins Joker. Like he's had a bunch of different backstories, but none of them were like actually confirmed his actual backstory.
well, I'm saying
It's
like
just
the
different.
first one they talk about.
Yeah.
And so that's why it's always. I personally think, a lot of people probably got really confused with the Dark Knight because he is obviously a guy wearing makeup.
Oh.
But the
I
Joker, the Joker, everyone else, like the big, like, movie Joker everyone had known up till that point was the Jack Nicholson. Like, a majority of people that weren't like super like into and following every Batman movie and everything, like the most widely known was the Jack Nicholson Joker from.
Yeah, that's because he's
And he's
arguably the second best.
Yeah, and
Joker.
he isn't a guy wearing makeup. He's actually, like, to look normal, he has to put on makeup.
I
So I think a lot of people might have gotten confused. Like, I got confused with that, because then I was like, well, is this actually the Joker, or is this just a guy saying he's the Joker?
If I remember correctly, he actually transformed into the Joker. I don't remember if it was acid or if it was some sort of like stuff, but it was kind of like just cool against other people. Like he became the Joker. He got a huge dose of like this chemical that makes you laugh yourself to death, and he somehow didn't die from it because he used that chemical multiple times on people. Like he would spray them, and then like they die with like a giant smile on their face. And, like apparently he got like a huge dose of it, but he didn't die from it. Like on the surface, it's kind of like really stupid and would come from like a comic book, but like the way the movie was played, it was really good. It was like interesting, you know, because like they kind of approached it from a mature.
You guys have to leave right now,
standpoint.
really quick. But what's it called? You guys can keep talking villains. I'll try to make it to future podcasts.
Okay.
Have a good
All
night.
right. Good night.
You too. Bye.
All right. Okay. Okay, so Demi had to leave. So are we not talking about villains anymore, or
No,
should
we
just
can. We'll continue.
Yeah. Okay. Can I talk about one of my favorite villains? I don't really have a favorite villain, but one of my favorites is again from the Portal series, GLaDOS. She's not really a villain; she's more of an antagonist. But the way she works is that she's a robot that controls the entirety of what you play in and what you will ever play. And she controls everything, and she's super nice about it. But really, she's actually really mean. Like for example, one time she put you in a level with garbage everywhere, and she was like, "Oh, don't mess with all the garbage. It's just garbage. It's nothing." And then at the end of the level, she's like, "Oh, that garbage was a metaphor for you," because she's actually super mean. She's actually super mean, but she's really nice about it most of the time. And that's why she's like one of my top favorites antagonists / villains. I'm gonna mix them together because there's a line crossed, but I don't. But GLaDOS crosses the line of being both a villain or an antagonist.
Yeah, she's a good villain because like she's basically everywhere. So like, I mean, from the get go, like your character's life is almost totally mute. So like, makes jokes and everything at your expense, and trying to remind you that your character can die at any moment and it's not important and all that good stuff. But the whole time she's doing it, she's using this pre-programmed voice that is all synthesized and sounds, proper and nice and programmed. So that's very interesting dialogue for a character that just blatantly doesn't give a shit about anything or anyone, especially the test subject.
Right.
Yeah, I actually just looked up GLaDOS on the wiki, the Portal wiki.
Capital GL, lowercase a, capital G.
I know, I'm looking, but like GLaDOS is the AI,
the main antagonist that you have to fight at the end of Portal 1, but at the end of Portal 2, she actually helps you. But not because you burned her and tore her into pieces. Spoiler warning. I think I already gave enough spoilers. Okay.
I already played it.
Yeah. Okay. Same. Okay. But the reason is because she was actually taken apart from the core of the place where she was made to be evil, because you were trying to take over the entirety of Aperture Science, which is the place you play in. And then Wheatley turns her into a potato chip, and she's like, "You know what? I'll help you from this place exploding, while you defeat Wheatley. We will work together." And basically, you agree to that plan, and you go ahead and defeat Wheatley, throw him into space, like I said earlier, which is really fun. So yeah, but earlier in the game, she was actually still an antagonist, or the antagonist. Actually, she was only the antagonist up to like chapter 4, because in chapter 3 she wakes up, I believe. I could be wrong about that. It could be chapter 2. I'm not sure.
She's a necessary evil. She's technically bad, but you still need her. So she's a necessary evil.
So yeah, right. I'm gonna quickly read through. The short little background they have written on the wiki. GLaDOS is a creation of Aperture Science personality core designed exactly to be fitted as a central computer mainframe. The project began under oversight of Cave Johnson over the company. It was an attempt to create a fully functional advanced AI, artificial intelligence, which was originally intended to be occupied by Cave Johnson, as one of his attempts to cheat death. After it became apparent Johnson that he would die of moon rock poisoning. Before development of GLaDOS was complete, Johnson motioned for scientists to insert Caroline instead.
It's Carolyn. Actually, the game
Carolyn.
pronunciation is Carolyn for some reason. Who is the co-founder of Aperture Science, and Cave Johnson is the founder. So that's why he was like, you know what? If you don't pour my soul into the robot before I die, then I want Carolyn to be poured into the robot. And she's gonna say stuff like no, but I can't do it. I'm too busy and stuff. But it actually did work out, except I think they built it too early, which is why the court made her evil in the first place.
Yeah, so if you didn't know, this ties into the Half-Life story as well. The Portal and Half-Life, their stories actually tie together. So,
well, don't spoil anything for Half-Life because I still haven't played those games. And I
do
know
you
something
understand
about
the generality of Half-Life?
Not so much. I still need to play the games.
They're
because
like monsters.
I don't really
you know?
I don't really play games with spoilers. Because if I play games with spoilers, then it's not as fun for me and I don't get to enjoy the game. So
Well, this is more of like you're aware there's enemies in Half-Life, right?
yes, I understand the basic concept of it.
This doesn't spoil anything then. This next part just refers to how the two timelines match up. After decades worth of hard work, GLaDOS was officially activated in 1998 as part of one of the many events during the company's Bring Your Daughter to Work Day. Since she was able to take control of half of the facility's features, GLaDOS began killing most of its inhabitants by flooding the enrichment center with neurotoxin. However, only few, if not only one, of the staff, such as Doug Ratman, survived her attacks, along with the series' main protagonist, Chell. The destruction of the company coincided with the enemy invasion which had occurred 2 days after Bring Your Daughter to Work Day at Aperture's rival company, Black Mesa. This ultimately led to the negligence of the outside world from realizing Aperture's fate, as all the attention had been diverted to Black Mesa.
I have a quick question. So the ending credit scene for the first game, the song "Still Alive" in Portal 1, it introduces Black Mesa. Can you tell me what Black Mesa is? Is it
Black Mesa is the company that your character works at in Half-Life.
Oh, okay, that makes so much more sense. Thank you.
And they are a rival company to Aperture. So basically, the way that GLaDOS gets away with doing what she did was, well, Black Mesa also had a big thing happen that just happened to be bigger, and so everyone's attention was diverted to Black Mesa.
Oh, that makes sense. Can I add another thing on the Portal that I actually learned today, because I'm still in the middle of playing Portal 1, but like I'm actually pretty close to the end. I didn't learn this today. I actually learned this a couple days ago, back when I was still binge playing the game. And the companion cubes are actually humans.
Well, that's a theory.
It's not a theory. It's basically a fact, almost. It isn't completely confirmed by the game, but there are a bunch of clues that make it feel like it is, like they are humans. Because if you go in a secret room in chamber 18, I believe it is, you can see the secret room, and you find a bunch of these pictures with companion cubes as their faces. So they're hey, PrimalFury.
Hello.
Hello.
We're talking about Portal.
Yep.
Portal?
I'll be
Yes.
honest.
absolute envisioned. It was literally what make or broke. It made history. Plain and simple.
I played it.
Yeah, it did actually. It did actually. It sort of did. It defined like puzzle platforming for a while.
Yeah, it did. It did a lot. Surprisingly.
Like puzzle platforming, and it involves like you pressing multiple keys at once in order to get to the end with like extra puzzles. But you also have to platform your way to the end by using the simple puzzles that get harder and harder. So I'm not saying they're all simple. Some of them are definitely pretty hard, especially for the original Portal game. That's the original Portal game is hard. I'm not gonna lie. Who else thinks it's hard? Who else thinks it's hard? I know Quality's played it, but
It's pretty difficult, honestly.
Huh?
Portal 2 isn't
If you're
as
not,
hard. It's more story based, but it's definitely still on
if you're not
around the same difficulty as like.
If you're
League
not-
of Legends.
a puzzle enthusiast or anything like that, like if you don't know how to think outside the box, it does get difficult.
It does. It does get much more difficult overall. It's taking me longer to figure out tests as opposed to the beginning when I first played the game. It didn't take me too long to get past the first 19 tests, but it is taking me longer to get past these next tests. So
Yeah,
I
so
finished the first one. I wasn't able to finish the last one. Like, I can't remember. I think it was just because whenever I got to the end of it, was out of all the little puzzle areas, and I think we were trying to escape or something like that. And me and the person who was playing, because I think the second one is the one where you can play with another person, and it got really repetitive, and then we just ended up going to a different game, because we were still figuring out the puzzles, but like we didn't feel like going any further because we weren't really listening to the story, to be honest. But I
Yeah.
do know that even as someone who wasn't paying attention to the story, like the puzzles were actually pretty like challenging and a lot of fun. It's just near the end in the second game, it got really repetitive. It's just, oh my god, I'm in another room. I gotta figure out a new puzzle. And
a lot of the end of Portal 2 is very non-linear. Because there's it. Well, I mean, it's linear in a way, but I mean, it's not marked out for you like things, like places you can go or where you can't go.
Because at the end of the game, you throw Wheatley into space. It makes sense that you can talk and stuff. Game theory to theory on this. I actually watched it recently after I beat Portal 2, which was very recently, and I was like, I'll save it for later after I beat Portal 2. Because he said, take the afternoon to play Portal 2 and beat it. And it took me actually a little while to figure out some parts. So it didn't actually take me an afternoon. It took me like a couple days to beat it. It took me 15 hours in total. I'm saying up across the span of a few days. It took me to beat it. It wasn't super hard. It took me almost 15 hours to beat in total.
Right. And the co-op campaign is actually a different thing than the single player campaign.
Right, I haven't actually done the co-op campaign yet, but I know it's a thing.
The single player is the main story.
Have Portal, they just don't play it at all. By
Yeah.
Portal, I mean Portal 2.
Yeah.
But right now I'm referring to Portal 2 when I say Portal, but
yeah. So I have the wiki page for the companion cube open, and it has two quotes at the top that are just great. One's from GLaDOS. The first one, the Enrichment Center reminds you that the weighted companion cube will never threaten to stab you, and in fact cannot speak.
It's true, but in the event that it does, speak, I encourage you not to listen to any of his advice.
The advice should be disregarded.
Yep.
And then,
yeah.
And the second quote is, I think that one was about to say, I love you. They are sentient, of course. We just have a lot of them.
Yeah, because I'm pretty sure, after the dead bodies, died in the place after being either poisoned, neurotoxin, shot by turrets, etc. Probably even being crushed.
Yeah, they just
they ended up getting put into the companion cubes to have their souls live on. This sounds a lot like FNAF, but hear me out. It's not FNAF.
Well, I've seen the theory video, the game theory video on it, and that's why they can't go through the fields at the end of the level, the electric, like the whatever fields, because like it was something like it just doesn't allow it through because it's supposed to take all non-living matter or something. I don't know.
Yeah. It's supposed to take all non-living matter, not including the portal gun, because the portal gun can go through. They need it to progress with the game. But I think the portal gun is actually different because it works on electricity, so it is compatible to go through. They made it in a way so that it's compatible to go through the thing.
Yeah, and so okay, before I think we I don't know, before we move on to anything else, I just want to point this out. There's a trivia thing here. Valve said so after Chell leaves the facility upon completing Portal, there's a scorched companion cube ejected after her. And it's supposed to be, Valve confirms, it's the exact same cube the player euthanized in the first Portal game.
Yep, which is pretty cool. Which is why it's even scorched in the first place, because in the first level you played in, which was level 18, I believe, either that or 17. I can't remember. Chamber 17 or 18. It was where with the save room where you euthanized, which just means incinerated. It just means incinerated and burned. Apparently it wasn't completely burned, and when GLaDOS ejected the cube out, that was a really cool scene, because it's like, yes, the companion cube is brought outside. She's like, I feel like if she spoke in that moment and we could hear her, she would probably say, "Here, take it. We don't want to leave it here anyways," or something like that.
Would I be able to stream a game that I'm playing right now? It's a free game on Steam. But
What's it
I
called?
learned how to stream a couple of days ago, like just to pull up screens and stuff. Like I learned how to do that.
I don't know if last time I tried you mean like a screen share?
Yeah. Like, I mean, if I'm doing it, it shouldn't be like but a capture on your screen, right?
You would think that, but I think, well, maybe, I don't know. I think it would take up a lot of bandwidth on my end, and I think that's what actually caused the first Exotic cast to end prematurely.
Yeah. Well, if you want to, just let me know. I'm trying out a new game that's free. It's like some sort of bunker building game. I'm gonna freaking mute it because it's got some loud ass music playing right now.
I can hear the music.
Yeah. I don't like playing with background music. Get out of
I'm fine with playing with background music, just as long as it doesn't get like too repetitive after waiting for a while and just doing something else on my phone. Then I get like very annoyed and just turn off the TV in total. The TV, computer, whatever, the screen. I just turn off the screen if there's like background music that's been playing for too long and it's repetitive. I saw like Geometry Dash, for example. I turn off most of the audio, mostly because it doesn't help me and it's kind of repetitive after dying over and over again. So I just turn off the sound and nothing and everything changes. So then it's better. So then I don't hear the repeating music. So it makes both me not get super angry because or frustrated, and also because it just doesn't sound good once it's
I
repetitive.
just don't like listening to the music in general. Like
Right.
something about the music just takes me out of the moment. Whenever I'm playing a game or something and I'm listening to people talk, for some reason it's better for me to just hear silence. Like aside from people talking and sound effects and everything like that.
Right. I'm also fine with that stuff because I personally love silence because every time like I go to school or something, actually, like back when 2020 didn't happen, when I went to school, everyone would just talk constantly, and there was no stopping it, and I just hated it. So I ended up starting to like pure silence. But whenever I was talking to someone, it just made me feel also better. Yeah, that's it.
Talk about school. I have a fun story about in high school. One of my classes, there was like this project we had to do with like a partner, and it was supposed to be like a decent chunk of our grade. And my partner and I didn't end up doing it, and the teacher somehow didn't notice we didn't end up doing it. There was just like, I guess we like kept getting, like ours kept getting delayed because like when we were supposed to go, I was actually sick, so it got pushed back. But when I got back and we were supposed to do like present whatever we had, which was nothing at that time, my partner was sick for like a week. And so when he came back, teacher never talked about it. And it like it was just not on our grade at all.
Oh dear.
And I was just like, and like we looked at each other and we were like, what goes on now? And we just never brought it up, and like our grades weren't affected. Like he just didn't, like it wasn't on our grades.
Right.
It was so weird.
So like, did she ever give you like any extra credit or something?
No, I think it just slipped his mind, honestly.
Huh. Because like you were sick and so you got nothing done, but when you came back, your partner was sick, so this is why we need third partners.
They can do
I
all
feel
the
like
work.
when it gets to a third partner, it becomes very much someone does all the work and then you take all the credit or something like that.
Yeah, but
There are a lot of teachers, well, at least the teachers I had. I mean, they had a way to make compensate the one person who did work, where basically the person who did all the work can come in and say, yeah, I did all the work, and the teacher can usually tell based on whatever the presentation is, if it's one of those projects, because the person who actually did the work doesn't have to keep staring down at the sheet of paper. But everyone else does because they didn't do any work, so this is the first time they're even reading these words.
Yeah. Shit.
So
I don't know. When it comes to group projects, it's just I've never enjoyed them because usually I end up doing all the work and then someone takes the credit, and it's just like, why bother being in a group when I'm the other person's going to take most of the credit? Like, what's the point in that?
right. That's why some people actually hate group projects.
I despise them for that exact reason.
Oh.
I hate that.
Well,
I hate them because
I personally don't hate them. I just dislike them most of the time.
I hate them because most of the time, at least in my experiences, the group project like is some sort of presentation, and I just hate presentations.
I don't really mind presentations, just as long as it doesn't last on to me where I need water in the middle of it, but I can't stop moving or talking or stuff. Like if I have to do all the credit and like no one else can talk because they don't know what's going on, then I'm probably gonna get bored and hate that project forever. But if but if we can all talk, and play our parts and stuff, then I like them because it's like we work together. I love teamwork most of the time, just as long as it's cooperative and not like competitive teamwork. You get what I'm saying when I say competitive teamwork, right?
Yeah.
I just mean you you are on the same team. You just it's like friendly fire in video games. You're both together, but you guys end up actually killing one another, like Minecraft or Call of Duty or something like that.
Yeah,
You're on the same team, but you're competing as to who can do better.
Yeah.
pretty much. Yeah.
That's competitive teamwork. It's actually really good way to build team effort. I'm a try hard, so usually the people who don't want to be involved with it, I won't even allow them to be a part of the project, and I'll just tell somebody. But I've also been in the military for a short time, so usually when there's somebody
You
not
gotta
wanting to do something, I can kind of change that pretty quick. I also have a bad habit of taking over a project and just trying to do all of it myself. So I'm totally backwards on that. I'll forget that I have to divvy out work to other people, or that I have to be part of a team or whatever.
Oh
Just be
yeah.
it's already done.
Yeah. So did any of you ever do in school have one of those review before a test in a class, there'd be a day for review and stuff, if it was a big
that's
exam or
back in
something.
time.
That was all back in elementary school.
So in the same class that I skipped a project on, one of the review things was this game show setup type of thing where each group would have a set of questions to come up with, and they would ask the other groups, and there's a whole point system or whatever. It was fun except there was this one guy, and there was just this one guy who found technicalities and asked questions that had nothing to do with the subject matter at hand. What we did in class was watch a video talking about one of the topics we were covering. So this kid's question, not joking you, what color shirt was the man wearing at the 3rd minute in the video on this topic?
Oh my god!
Oh my god!
And the teacher knowing, and teacher was like, "That's a ridiculous question. I'm not allowing it." And the student was like, "You said anything we covered in class."
Yeah,
and so teacher had to allow it, and no one got it.
Oh.
And he was like, "It was blue."
Oh, little bastard.
And I'm
That
like,
was allowed.
"You wrote
That
this
is
out.
allowed.
You had to have taken a note on this guy's shirt color when we watched the video to know you were going to make this question."
Not to mention the exact minute of the video.
Yeah, that's another thing.
Like one question is what guy is the shirt wearing, because normally people would wear the same shirt, but if it's but in that particular case it had to be that 1 minute. That's hard enough. It's hard enough just to have the color of the shirt normally. It's even harder to guess the minute.
And I'm just like, dude, sure, you can laugh at how clever you are, but you're literally wasting our time to make sure we all understand the subject matter for the test tomorrow.
Dang.
Wasn't
This is
wearing
why
a
you gotta
shirt.
choose the right people. For
You
your
what?
project. This is why you gotta.
It's a trick
Wasn't
question. It's a
wearing
trick
shirt,
question.
was
He
busy
never had
fucking
a
his
shirt.
mother.
Because if it was a group project, then you got to choose the right people, and that person would have been perfect. If you got it on there, because it's just what color was the guy with the color's shirt? What color was the guy's shirt wearing and stuff? And it's you wouldn't lose. You would actually get more points.
So as soon as he asked the question, and as soon as that whole thing was over, and no one got the answer, teacher said, "Okay, Guys, starting right now, going for the rest of the year. No more questions like that. And the whole group moaned because they had only picked that kid's questions to ask because he only had questions like that.
Oh my god.
Yes.
So they
ended up
literally
actually
just had to
choosing-
crumble up his paper of
Fire.
questions and throw them away.
Mm.
Oh, this is what
What
you
was
get
the
for trying
name?
to do stuff like that. It's karma.
What was the name of the fly that landed on Obama's face during all of his speeches?
That's the kind of
knows, do
question
they?
that
Nobody
is
knows,
like
do
I
they?
cannot answer.
You can't wiki it either. Oh no.
What?
Okay, he was in for 8 years. Flies
Had
don't
8
live
years.
that long.
You never made a note of it. It's
I never made a
tips.
note on it because I didn't watch presidential debates that much.
So try it harder.
Yeah, I really didn't watch a lot of Obama's stuff except for like when we got Bin Laden.
All I know is that fly was always there for those speeches. All I know. I don't remember a word that guy said.
It was the same fly that landed on our vice president. This fly is secretly controlling our entire government.
I want to make a story about this.
He's whispering sweet nothings into Obama's nostrils while he's talking. That's where he landed. It was like right above the lip, I think. People thought he had a mole.
Goodness
Controlling
gracious.
the government, controlling the president, plus the government itself.
Yeah,
It's hard
and
enough
I
controlling the
bet he
government,
made.
let alone the president. How did he manage to do this?
I bet he
This
made up
happened
the
a long time
reptilian
ago, actually, no,
conspiracy.
and now and everywhere and everything and everyone.
But he created the reptilian conspiracy
Oh
theory
god.
to cover up the fact that he was doing it all along. Our whole world is a joke.
Our whole world is a joke. Our whole existence is a joke. Why do we exist? Why are we
Oh
here?
god.
Only to
stop.
suffer.
Meaning of
Under
life.
stupid people, that's why.
But we get the illusion of choice because they give us 2 stupid people to choose from.
Okay, before we get all philosophical, we are here to reproduce and die. That is the whole goal of your life. Reproduce and die.
In that order?
Well, I mean,
No,
yeah,
not in the
yeah,
order.
you're
Sometimes,
I
sometimes
guess
in the other
you're right.
order.
It's just to keep
Sometimes in the other
you,
order.
you just gotta
I will give you
keep
that.
going. You
Dude,
gotta
what
keep
if
the
humans
existence of
could-
humanity going. Which
What
is
if
why
humans
you're
could
alive.
reproduce asexually?
Do what?
What if humans could reproduce asexually?
I mean, fish can do it. Why can't a human?
Well, I mean, cut a
Well,
human in half,
I
they
mean,
just
not
die.
for
You don't get
No,
2
no.
humans.
People
To
try
all
to
the
reproduce
to all
on
the younger kids watching, I don't think we want to talk about that right now.
Well, it's not like we're set to child-only mode, and I'm talking about
right,
like
but like
I'm not talking about the
There's a
actual
way
way.
you approach
I'm not talking
that
about the actual
conversation.
way we do. I'm just
I'm right,
asking.
but
You can't
Okay,
cut a
fine
person
Why
in
not
half.
age and
Gotta
over
remember,
18?
this is YouTube.
So they could be
I'm
watching
uploading
this
this
right
to
now.
YouTube.
Yeah, but
Hey.
there's a way you approach these conversations so that it does not sound
I'm
over
a
the top and
Well-
demonetization.
well, see, I'm
but
not-
You can still get away with talking.
I was never actually going to talk about the way we actually do. I was only going to talk about you can't cut a human in half and have 2 humans. You just get 1 dead human that is now 2 pieces.
Yeah.
Actually, you can cut
Yeah.
a human in half and they'll
That
still be alive.
is technically
Well,
true.
okay, horizontally maybe, but I was thinking of vertical,
Right down the middle.
right down
Yeah.
the middle.
Right down the middle. Right down the spinal column. It'll be fine.
Yeah, everyone will be fine. Everyone will live. It's fine.
The way you have 2 humans. That's all the production.
You have 2 humans and you only have to pay them 1 salary.
Yeah. Now you're thinking outside the box.
Business.
Bum bum bum.
And that's how humans reproduce asexually. Let that sink in.
Oy vey.
My gosh, I wish
I wish
YouTube was
that
better.
wasn't a conversation topic. Fuck.
Too late.
Actually
happened.
miss these kinds of conversations. Like they're really hard to have nowadays.
I mean, yeah, I guess you're right.
Like that, like those conversations used to happen all the time. They're just like, what's the most horrible thing we can talk about? But now you can't have those kinds of conversations. I'm glad to have shared it.
I mean, you can talk about them. It's not advised to.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, you're true. That's right.
Used to, like, there was no issue
He's
with
actually
it.
talking about. Hold on.
You gotta remember, you're projecting your no matter where you are, you're projecting a certain persona to people. Your own image is dependent essentially on what people see of you.
Yeah.
From the internet.
I know what you're saying.
Like, if you're having these hypothetical conversations every single time, like, someone's going to raise an eyebrow and go like, well, you should probably watch this motherfucker and see what he does.
Actually, if
before
they
someone
say that,
dies.
yeah, I mean, if they say that, if they're watching me, then I mean, I got some T-shirts they could buy. I got some books they could buy. Like, going onto my wiki and like checking me out and everything. I'm okay with that. I'm a-okay with that because, like I said, I'm gonna talk about those things, but I'm not gonna get like nitty-gritty details, like gory stuff, any stuff like that. I'll just allude to it. And even I have some things I still won't talk about that are taboo. They were taboo before everything got PC. I'll certainly talk about some raunchy stuff. Just because I'm curious, not because I'm, messed up in the head or anything, or maybe even because I'm bored. Usually when I'm tired, that's when like whenever I was in college, we used to have those conversations all the time. And like it was always whenever everybody was really tired, nobody wanted to go to bed. So then like you start having those introspective conversations, and then they'd always lead to like just weird shit. What happens if you cut a human in half or something like that? Really weird off the wall stuff. Those kinds of conversations don't happen anymore. Somebody wakes up and they're like, whoa, no, can't talk about this no more. Why?
Okay, let's completely change the subject. Which is better? Which is a better series, Star Wars or Star Trek?
Oh my god.
Oh my gosh.
No.
Oh my gosh. Oh my
No,
gosh. Okay, let me get this out of the way right. I'm gonna get this out of the way right now, everyone.
Everyone would ask back in elementary
Not a better
school.
subject.
and,
That's
like,
like
in school.
freaking talking about politics.
Okay. Wait.
It's
Wait.
amazing how such a simple thing like that completely derails it.
Wait.
It's hilarious.
Hold up.
Hold on.
Bop.
Bop. At everyone.
I've got the best answer. The best answer. I really don't care.
What?
That's the best answer. Is I really don't care because I have actually never. Okay, Star Trek. I've not actually seen ever.
How dare you not care?
I haven't seen many.
And I've only seen 2 Star Wars movies.
I've seen every Star Wars movie, and that's how I ended up not liking it because I got forced to watch it since I ended up getting to watch it by force, which wasn't fun because if you don't know, if I get forced to do something, that means I won't like it anymore. If I get forced to do it, like I ended up not getting very much into reading back in elementary school because people were forcing me to read.
Oh, did you not get like school rewards for reading?
I mean, I did because I could read well.
There were
It's
like Pizza Hut things that I would get at our school. Like you would in like 2nd or 3rd grade, it would be like, oh, if you read this many books, you get like a free personal pan pizza at Pizza Hut, and I'd be like,
not what happened to me, though. That's not what happened to me.
Free pizza.
Wow.
It was like,
wow, like we never
it's
got.
not because I didn't read. I definitely read. It just wasn't that fun anymore. but there wasn't those like contests or anything. So like no, so there wasn't those contests like if you read this many books you get this like certain cool prize, you get free pizza. Also, who remembers back when everyone's favorite food was pizza? Because I didn't have pizza wasn't my favorite food. This is a controversial subject.
A pizza is just the every food, okay? You're getting dairy, you're getting grains, you're getting vegetables, you're getting meats in some cases. I mean, come on.
I mean, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, look, it's
When it
tasty.
comes to pizza, what it depends on mainly is the greasiness. If it's freaking oily and freaking heavy with grease, it is automatically unhealthy. It doesn't matter what the toppings are.
But see, then you're getting
Have
the
you ever had
fat
hot
section
brothers
of the
pizza?
food pyramid, which they tried to remove, but I only follow the OG food pyramid, okay? The new food pyramid is crud.
I mean, have you ever had Hunt Brothers pizza? It's pretty much cooked in a vat. It's covered in so much like grease and oil, and it's delicious. I mean,
I have not
everybody
Just
is
because it
like
tastes
another
good
solid
doesn't
artery.
mean it's good
So
for
delicious.
you.
Huh?
I
Well,
think if it
that's
tastes good, it
actually
must be
makes
good for you.
sense.
I learned that in the movie Over the Hedge.
It's not good for you at all. Like every bite is a clogged artery. So, I mean, but it's delicious. It's the most delicious way to die.
Most delicious. I mean, it's not the tastiest thing for me. I like pizza. Don't get me wrong. It's really tasty. I'm not gonna lie. It's not my favorite food.
I
You know,
wouldn't say it's my favorite foodie. I hate picking favorites and anything anymore because there are just so many things I like, and I just can never like my favorite food when I was younger was hot dogs.
every first and second grader. What? How can you not like pizza? It should be your favorite food. But we're not. But we're not in second and first grade, and also they shouldn't even be watching this anyways.
Oh shit.
I'm gonna get going. I got food waiting for me.
What
Okay.
kind?
Nice talking to you guys and nice being part of this.
All right.
Yeah, it's nice. It's
Bye.
nice for
See
you
ya.
to
See ya.
see ya.
Oh my.
How
I'm
long is the
playing
podcast?
this-
I'm just asking this question. How long is the podcast gonna last? Because I'm fine with talking all night.
I mean,
leaving this on until I feel like going to bed.
it can go
So-
for however long we want. Probably when the conversation kind of dies is probably when we'll stop.
Probably, yeah.
Okay, so what?
I'm playing a different type of game, and this game is frustrating because it's like some of the build mechanics don't work right.
Mm,
Hold on, what game are you
uh,
playing? I just need to know this.
It's not the same one. The first one was an apocalypse game. This one is a moon or a Mars building game. It's called Planet Base, and
Oh, I think I've heard of that one.
yeah, it's got good graphics, and like it's really cool that you can modify your buildings and all that. And like the tutorial is kind of not there, but like it's got a point where like nobody wants to work. There's like you're supposed to have workers to like mine stuff and build things for you, and nobody wants to work. Everybody just lies down and then eventually runs out of oxygen and dies.
Eventually runs out of oxygen and dies.
Yeah.
Why is that funny? Why is that funny?
I have no
It is.
idea.
Because it is the best answer ever.
This game came out in 2015, so maybe I'm doing something wrong. I don't know. This is the fate of the world. This is supposed to be like all the survivors from planet Earth, but none of them want to work, which is kind of awkward. They
This
just
sounds
laid
like
out
Doctor Who, except they actually work
Sounds like
Like-
what?
They don't work. That's the thing.
with the 11th Doctor. One of the episodes has like Earth going to like a different planet, combining their countries and stuff in like the 29th century. And also their math is really off in that episode.
What show?
Doctor Who.
Mm.
Wait, no, not
Never a big
Doctor Who.
fan.
Is it Doctor Who? Is it Doctor Who?
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
Doctor Who.
it is Doctor Who. I was like,
Yeah.
wait, are we talking about Doctor Who or Doctor Strange? I can't remember. Because Doctor Strange is a movie, not a show. I just needed to get that confused. I just got confused with that. I don't know why.
Yeah, I was never a big Doctor Who fan. Like, I just couldn't get into it.
Yeah, I understand.
Yeah, I never got into
never
it because
played like a really popular game until recently with Fall Guys and Among Us and Henry Stickmin.
Henry Stick. I still need to play the final game. I played them as they came out online over the years.
Yeah, same. It's just I need to play this. I played completing the mission was never a thing until recently, on purpose because you have to because you need the collection in order to beat completing the mission because it combines 2 episodes that you can't just regularly collect data for normally. I mean, you could do that. Yes, it's possible. You could transfer your data over to those games, check out all the endings you got, except it just wouldn't feel the same.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be the same. You'd have to load everything up over and over again, and it wouldn't be that fun. So I'm glad with the new Stickman collection they did this.
Right.
They
What is this
They-
game?
combine the ending.
It's a Henry Stickmin. It's a series of Flash games that have been around for probably over 10 years, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
But
I'm
the
pretty
big
sure,
finale for the series is a big
how I got
paid
into
for
Henry
game.
Stickmin. It's around when Infiltrating the Airship came out. I loved that game, but before I found out about it, I heard about Puffballs United before that because of Riddle School. Does anyone remember Riddle School?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Their whole yeah. There's just
Yeah.
the whole golden age of online Flash games.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I pretty much grew up playing those Flash games on old computers at the school that I went to, and I think I'm sure I remembered what it was. There was one that was called Buddy. It's actually an older version of a game that's on Steam now. It was set up a lot differently from that one. It was like a game that basically put you in a room with a little doll.
Oh,
The doll, you can interact with it. You can punch
Interactive
it, you
Buddy.
Who played
Yeah.
the original game, but the original, the beta version?
Of Interactive Buddy?
Huh?
What game,
Yeah,
Aqua?
There is no game.
Oh,
it was
yeah.
called
That's the title of the
Interactive
game.
Buddy.
But the original version, the one that came out before this new one.
Yeah. I played
Yeah,
that.
I loved that. I just it was pretty short, but it was really fun.
Yeah, they made a it was a phone
phone
game out of it. They made a phone game out of it, and they put a bunch of microtransactions in it, which I didn't like, so I never really got into the new version of the game.
Yeah, the Interactive Buddy. That
I'm not gonna lie, I've never played the new There Is No Game, Wrong Dimension.
well, that's
but
a full it's a $15
yeah,
game
it's a
and
full
stuff.
game. But then again, I have bought Fall Guys, Among Us, Henry Stickmin, and a lot of other games, Dark Souls, Portal, etc. So I think I'm fine with buying this after I beat 5 other games first. By 5 other games, I mean all the Half-Life games. I need to finish Portal and Dark Souls. Dark Souls 1, on Steam. And that's going to take a while.
I don't like to keep I got a very certain number of games that I'll keep on me, and if I think the game's gonna take too long for me to play, I don't bother with it, unless it's very specific types of games. I don't bother with Doom anymore because it'll take too long and I'll get bored with it. Don't bother with Fallout. I tried 76 and I don't think I like it very much just because it's really choppy.
Fallout 76 is not even a good example of the series.
Well, to be honest, I actually did like it. I like the graphics, I like the character build, I like the world, but it's just a little choppy. And I know that if I play it, I'm gonna end up putting like a shit ton of hours into it. So I don't think I will. And New Vegas is the same way. Like for some reason, like all at New Vegas, I played it through once recently, and it keeps crashing like over and over again. And like now it's gotten to the point I can't even load like quick saves. And I don't remember it ever being that bad. Like I know I put at least like 1,500 hours into Fallout New Vegas, or something like that. And like now I've gotten like to 51 hours, and it's like pretty much unplayable on this computer. So,
Oh.
I don't know. I'll probably get rid of it.
I have so many Steam games because I used to buy a lot of bundles,
Yeah.
and so I just have like hundreds of Steam games.
I don't
Yeah.
have hundreds of Steam games because actually, yeah, because my dad let me a Steam account that I basically never used. He used it for Dark Souls 2, 1, and 3. I said that in the wrong order, but why not? So you know,
Yeah. I used to have. I think my old count for games, and like it also includes DLCs for whatever reason. I think my old count for games was like 298, and I ended up getting rid of that account. Like I just sacked the whole account and got rid of it because I didn't want to play any more of them. And now I think I got 10 games. So, and I kind of cycle through them, and I'll get rid of them as I please. And
Yeah, you could have like sold that account.
yeah, I could have, and then Steam would have, come fuck me up for it.
They barely catch anyone that does that.
yeah.
No, I mean I tried. Like I looked into it, like legitimately selling it, and then like seeing if I could just sell it on the side. And I was like, no, I really don't feel like getting into some legal bullshit with them. Not to mention, your Steam account is attached to so much extra bullshit. Like trying to separate it into somebody else's account, it would be like a nightmare because there's like with Rockstar accounts, Bethesda's account, all their shit, because it's all linked to your Steam page. You have to switch all that crap over, and some of it you can't even swap over. Like Rockstar, like you cannot separate your Steam account from your Rockstar account. You can't do it. If you did it, you would have to destroy both accounts.
Yeah, I tend not to link them.
Yeah, but you have to if you want to start a new game. At least with Rockstar.
I found a Steam calculator, Steam account calculator, to see how much my account is worth, and the button you have to press to run the calculator says "Get disappointed in your life choices."
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
I think mine would have sold. Correctly, mine would have sold for like some 1,700 or some crap.
Okay.
Like because it wasn't just like a lot of games; it was also high end games. A lot of them that cost a lot of money that I didn't buy on sale.
Yeah, so I have 517 games. Account value. Now this is very off of whatever I've actually spent because I would buy so many of them in bundles where especially on Humble Bundle where you name your own price. So a lot of these I got for barely anything at all.
Yeah.
But using the way it calculates on here is saying like here's if you bought all of them at their lowest prices that they've been on Steam or what their current price is. So if I had gotten each of them directly through Steam at their lowest possible price, $965. At the price they are right now, at the price they are right now, $4,356.
Technically, yeah, I was about to say, like, what's the lowest price? Because that would be like $517.
But I actually calculated.
My price would probably be I'm just gonna do this off the top of my head. I would probably say $500-ish at the highest.
So I actually went through and found a couple, like 5 years ago or 4 years ago. I can't remember, but I don't buy games nearly as often as I did back then, so it wouldn't have gone up too much since then. But back then, I went through my email, found all the receipts from the bundle sites like Humble Bundle and stuff that I would use, and all my Steam receipts, and I added it all up, and it was in about the the $400 to $500 range, somewhere in there.
And if you ever want a game that's kind of Dark Souls like, but with a lot more unnecessary titties, get Code Vein, because that game is all about its what's it called, difficulty spikes, and like try hard bosses that will kick your ass like even after you've been like running around for like 2 or 3 hours killing everything in sight. Like it's kind of like Dark Souls, but it gets a lot easier if you know how to play the game. It's like you can spam shit and like take advantage of stuff, but like for some reason the bosses, like every boss in the game, is like ridiculously difficult. It's just at the top of my list right now, and my Steam account is sitting on it right now. I thought about playing it, like the bosses are so like ludicrously hard to kill that I kind of don't even want to bother with it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's got a really awesome character designer though. Like I love its little character designer. But like it, oh my god, this game, like Code Vein, it's great graphics, like amazing character design, and it's fun if you have, you know, like 1,000+ hours to level up your character, because you have like you start off with like I think 900 freaking hit points, and you go up by like anywhere from I think 5 to like 40 hit points a piece. Like, and you level up. I don't know if there's a cap, but like it seems to go up. Like the leveling points go up the longer you play. So like if you've just been playing like 5 minutes, then you're not going to level up very much. But if you've been playing for like 5 hours, you're going to be leveling up like a shit ton every time you level, like getting a lot of extra points. Like the game that's like meant to be played a shit ton. But like it's like the most anime fucking thing ever. Like if you pay attention to the story, it's kind of irritating. Like I'm sure somebody who reads manga or is into anime style storytelling would be into it, but I can't. Like there's one character that you meet first, and I've left him to die so many times, and I keep hoping that like he won't come back, but he does. And then there's like this ginger guy who's really awesome, but like, God, it's really hard to get to that story because it is so anime. Like the writing is really irritating.
I understand.
Like there's certain characters like they'll have little moments where like it's all right, they're just talking normal, and like sometimes they'll say lines that are fun. Other times it's just like, stop, guy, you're starting to sound like some cliche hero.
Yeah.
Like, oh, it's so hard. His whole life, I can't take it. It's so difficult and everything. It's like, come on, dude, you're fucking Superman. Nothing can kill you right now. Pretend like you're having a hard life.
Who's after the live chat?
What?
Nothing. Never. People who were actually listening would understand what I said. Him, type in chat. Ahem.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that this might be a good place to end it.
All right then.
Okay.
See y'all hopefully next week, if not the week after.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Have fun at everyone. See ya.
Okay, so that is it for today. Thank you everyone for tuning in, and if you live in America and you are of voting age.
Hey, hold on. I'm gonna try. Can you see what it looks like when I stream and then you capture it? Because the show's over, so it doesn't really matter if it.
Just a minute. I'm still going. I was about to tell everyone if they're in America and they are of voting age, make sure you vote. It's kind of how our country works.
That include me.
Yeah, if you haven't voted.
I don't really want to break the tradition. I haven't voted since Bush versus Kerry, so I got that tradition going. I really don't want to break that.
Well, you do you, but everyone else, remember, that is kind of how our country keeps going. You got, if you want to be represented, you vote. And I know a lot of people might think, well, I'm just one person, my vote doesn't count that much, but all votes count. All votes matter. They come together to produce the end result. Not gonna go saying who to vote for because that is your choice. But I'm just saying you should vote. I'm also gonna say that if you like this, you should definitely subscribe. This is awkward because I've never actually done this whole thing before. Never actually done the whole like and subscribe thing. If you liked it, I mean, you can like it. It would help us know if what we're doing is something you like or don't like. Leave a comment, I guess, and tell us, like, give us